Psychic Ren White here on a beautiful Saturday. I finally got my new glasses in so I can see again. And I thought maybe this would be a good day to do a quick YouTube about the divination tools that I use. And part of the reason why I'm doing this YouTube video today is because I just got a brand new one. Allow me the opportunity to show that off a little. Looky, woo, crystal ball. We're going to talk more about that later. So, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the divination tools that I use and that maybe you may be interested in using to help yourself or help others. One of my favorites that is the easiest that I start with for myself, it's called an oracle deck. And this one happens to be a fairy theme. And it is very straightforward with less symbolism and more directness. And it's real beautiful imagery, but it's less cards than a tarot deck. When I need to read something for myself, I'll typically go to an oracle deck because reading a tarot deck is kind of like reading a GPS or a road map this close to your face. It's really difficult. You're probably going to miss a turn. Then there's the tarot deck. Lots of cards, lots of meaning. 7 out of 10 readings that I do involve a tarot deck. Tarot decks have been used for just about every type of divination, for every faith, every population. Most likely originated in Italy. And they are most widely used by the Roma and by the Wiccan faiths. And they are so symbolic. They represent the beginning of your life all the way through the end. You shuffle them and you do a reading, and you intuitively are reading the person across from you as well as the cards, and you're giving the person across from you an in-depth look at what their trajectory looks like from where they started, where they are, and where they're going. And in the process, a good psychic is really trying to help you avoid pitfalls. They're not pigeonholing you into a future. They're trying to help you find the best outcome possible. That's really what a psychic is supposed to do. So you've got a regular tarot deck, lots of cards, lots of symbolism, but you can learn how to do that and develop your third eye. And they are for everyone, every faith. There's no one specific faith that would claim it, but they're used by all of them. So another tool that I use, this is called a pendulum. Mine has an eye on it, which is a protective quality. It helps protect you from negative energy. I happen to use mine in conjunction with a board, but you can use the pendulum by itself. You can tell it to answer yes or no questions. Like before I had the board, I would ask my guides to go around and around for yes or back and forth for no. And these are good for yes or no questions. They are not something that you are going to get seriously deep into answers like you would with the tarot deck. But they are something that you can get some peace of mind and maybe some clarity. Or maybe someone is coming to you and they just need a quick reading. They don't want their whole life story. They just need to know a couple of things in their near future. So those are the tools that we have right now. Been using the most. But when you get a little bit further into it, or you want to develop your intuition a little bit more, here is another beautiful tool. This is for tasseography. Now, tasseography is reading the tea leaves. And as a tea leaf reader, you are basically going to be reading the tea leaves left in the bottom of the cup after you have the person who you are reading sip it down to just a tablespoon and drain it out. That really would need its own video to show you specifically how to do it because it's a little bit complicated. But it only goes out about a year. It's a short-term read, and it is something that can give you buku clarity on something that's coming up in the near future for all the way out to about a year, 6 months to a year, just depending on how many symbols you get out of the cup. And it's been done in the Appalachian Mountains and for years by also lots and lots of different cultures. It was developed as a way for ladies to read their future without being persecuted, because there was a time when all of these tools weren't quite so widely accepted as they are now. So, moving right along to the big bad Ouija board. Everybody is a little bit afraid of Ouija boards because of movies and stuff that they've seen. But guys, it's not like the movies. Boards are really only as demonic as you make them. If you have a dark side to you, don't play with the Ouija board. Your subconscious, for some of you, is better left just that, your subconscious. Leave that iceberg untapped. But if you are interested in communicating with your own subconscious and you're not afraid of yourself and you're not afraid of what you might find, the Ouija board is fantastic. Are you communicating with spirits on the Ouija board? There's lots of debate about that. It was developed by a medium, and she said that Ouija means good luck. And it is a great way to get messages from the other side, especially if you're a natural medium. Sometimes you get lots and lots of symbolism, but it's so hard to sort through it. A Ouija board can help you narrow it down. There are safeguards in place for a Ouija board. So I don't want anyone to take the board or any of these tools, but especially the Ouija board, as a completely safe or just a game. They are very deep psychological tools as well as metaphysical tools. You are tapping into an energy that you don't fully understand. Even people who are pretty experienced and well versed in it don't completely understand. So when I play with the Ouija board, I have lots of safeguards in place. There are blessings and protection circles, and even myself, I don't typically play with my board by myself. I'm comfortable enough that I do occasionally, but it's rare. I don't want you to mistake messages that could be from your own subconscious for things that could be coming from your spirit guides, because you could inadvertently be talking yourself in or out of something that you should be listening to your instinct on, and instead you're letting your own anxieties and fears talk you out of it, and they're coming out in your subconscious on the Ouija board. Professionals know the difference, and so I do. But you would want to really, really prepare yourself with that. Now, does that mean that if you're not a professional and you go tinkering around with the Ouija board, you're going to end up possessed like in the movies? No. If you have a darkness inside of you, you are not going to enjoy playing with the Ouija board. It is going to bring up some things, and it is going to bring out some things that are inside of you already. And it could even draw some worse things to you. But follow the protection, follow the protocol, and if you don't know the protocol, then just leave it alone. That's all with that. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's a great tool for getting messages from the other side. Just follow the right protocol for it. And if you are a person that is not a light worker, maybe you dabble in some of the darker magic and everything that I just stay away from it. But if you do dabble in that stuff, then you're probably not afraid of the darkness that's going to come out of it anyway, because you're already in it. So, spirit board. Now, to my new toy, my crystal ball. Absolutely beautiful. A crystal ball is one of the oldest forms of divination. This one is a very big and heavy one, so I'm going to move my board up and I'm going to sit this one out. And the crystal ball is something that you probably recognize from movies like, The Wolfman, where the gypsy lady is sitting there and she's focused on the crystal ball. Well, it is true. Roma do use crystal balls, and I love my crystal ball. I just got it today. I had a smaller crystal ball before, and they're both reconstructed quartz crystal, and they are great for scrying. So these types of scry methods actually are your mind, you opening your ajna and focusing towards the center of the ball and concentrating, but not concentrating. I know that sounds kind of weird, like, how do you concentrate, not concentrate? But what you're doing is you are allowing your mind to project and magnify onto the ball. And then you take those images and you give them to the person that you are reading, or maybe you are looking at your own future. I don't look a lot at my own future because it's similar to the tarot deck. It's really difficult to read your own when you're like me, and the images come so fast. It's just right in my face. So this came from the Whimsical Nook today, and I am very, very happy to say that I use it in combination with my tarot deck, and I also can use it by myself, by itself. And the smaller crystal balls that you may have, you can use those too. I just wanted a bigger one because my mind can project more images onto a larger ball. So, crystal balls have been used for many, many years for scrying. There are lots of things that are scrying. The teacup is also scrying. It's basically letting your mind project images and then projecting those images onto the person that you are reading and translating those images for them based on what your intuition tells you that they mean. It can be different for every person. Every symbol can mean something different for the people that you read. It can be really complicated, but it can also be very, very eye-opening. And this is my little presentation for today on my scrying tools. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it's something that maybe you learned a little bit from. Lots of different people use lots of different tools. The Asians use tortoise shells to scry. They would heat them up and read the lines that crack in them because tortoises have long lives, so their shells have a lot of information. The human palm, depending on which hand that they use is the palm that you read, has a buku information on it. So we are living in the micro. Our bodies are the micro. The universe is the macro. Right down to our molecular structure, we are modeled after the universe. And everything has a pattern and a rhyme and a reason. And if you learn how to use these symbols, then you can tell a lot about where you are and where you are going and where you could go. That's my word on divination tools. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Later, Gators.